On today's Microbrand Monday segment, we're taking a look at the MW timepiece Legato. Legato! The spicy meatball. You talking to me? You talking to me?
I made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
What other offensive caricatures of an Italian man can I do? Forget about it! I'm walking here! Legato! It is 5:59 p.m. Let's get down to business. Coming in just under $500 US at $479.81, according to the online converter, we have a stainless steel Microbrand diver. However, when we jump into the specs, you'll see it's a pretty dang near spec monster. Can we call this a spec monster? Well, I guess you can decide at home, but we have a 39.5 millimeter case diameter by 46 millimeter lug to lug, a 12 millimeter thickness, and a, pretty standard 316L stainless steel case. There are some very nice added touches like the loomed signed crown. You're getting a flat sapphire crystal with 10 coats of AR coating on the underside, powered by a Legato SW201 automatic movement. I'm very fond of that movement, and all of this with a 300 meter water resistance rating. So okay, I told you that I would consider this a spec monster or something pretty dang near one, but again, leave me a comment. What do you think about the specs, especially when we compare it to that right around $500 price point? Now, me personally, when I take a look at the specs, the execution, and the price point with this watch, this might be one of the most impressive bang per buck Microbrand divers we've taken a look at in a very long while. But it's not perfect, so let's go ahead and take a look at the pros and cons. Pros: the dimensions are incredible. Sub 40 millimeter case diameter, and again, for a 300 meter diver in 2022, that's great. Now, this white dial variant we have here with the burgundy bezel, the contrast coming from that white dial and the really deep indexes and that dark contrast coming from that dark date wheel, it is so pleasant and just gives such a seamless time-telling experience. I really dig the contrast on this watch. It's pulled off perfectly. The serrations on the bezel feel great and the clicks feel positive. It's not gonna back out on you. I would give this my pizza roll seal of approval so I can time my pizza rolls in the oven, but the bezel is not perfect, or you're gonna wait for the cons to hear me complain about that. Still, got to give it the seal. The nice touches coming from that loomed crown and drilled lugs. These are huge, guys. For tool watches, you gotta have drilled lugs, you know. Not everybody's gonna wanna use the bracelet. Part of the fun when it comes to divers is being able to wear it on a silicone strap, on a sailcloth strap, on a NATO, even a leather strap. Give us drilled lugs. Another pro, Legato movement. I'm huge. I'm huge. I am huge. I'm a huge fan of the Legato movement. That's what I meant to say. And all for around 500 bucks. That's probably the biggest pro here. Incredible bang per buck here. Now to the cons. First con, I'd prefer a threaded case back instead of a case back that's screwed onto the case. Listen, I've never really had issues with any of my personal watches with case backs coming loose, but with some watches I've reviewed and some watches that have been sent in, I have had issues with the screws affixing the case back to the case, and having just one big threaded case back that actually threads into the case itself just gives me a little bit more confidence. I'm not saying that this is an issue though, because I believe the Vacheron Constantin Overseas has a screwed case back. So, I mean, if it's good enough for Vacheron, it's probably good enough for MW. Legato. And the final con is totally, I mean, all of this is personal preference, but the pip, okay? On the bezel, again, I love that burgundy color. I love how it plays with the white dial and the black from the handset, the date wheel and the indexes. It's just very nice contrast and combination of colors. This is my favorite colorway for sure. However, although the bezel looks good and feels good, it's not as clear as I would like when it comes to the pip. The markings on the bezel I would change altogether. You know, I'm a big fan of having that big upside down triangle. I'm kind of spoiled with my Seiko Tuna, with my Submariner, and with, you know, a slew of other divers having a very clear pip indicator, so you know, how much time has elapsed in relation to that one spot on the bezel. So I would love to see them change that up in the production pieces. They probably won't. This looks good, but it's not as functional as I would like it to be. It's still usable, just not as clear as the rest of the watch. So that's my final con. So what's the main takeaway? Well, in my opinion, for just under 500 bucks, getting a Swiss Sellita movement, this amount of execution, I mean, it's some pretty dang impressive case finishing. You have some dual finishing there. Really nice colorways to choose from. Again, this white dial, kind of burgundy bezel is my personal favorite. Getting some added touches with that loomed crown and the drilled lugs. So when you look at the specs, the 300-meter diver, when you look at the execution, this one's pulled off very well, and you look at the price, just under $500 according to the converter online. I used, blame Google, not me, guys. This is a spec monster, and it might be one of my favorite Microbrand divers I've reviewed this year for sure. We're still early on this year, but I'm gonna say in a good long while. So good job, and MW timepieces, not MTW. I think we just took a look at a MTW watch. This is a different company. MW timepiece. Just refer to it as Legato. Hey, Legato. I know someone that's not even Italian is gonna complain to me in my inbox. You're racist against Italians. My niece is Italian, all right? I love her. And later on, I'm gonna tell her Legato, and she's gonna know what I mean because she's part Italian. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed this installment of Microbrand Monday with the MW timepiece Legato. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this watch, and I will catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.